If your prayers aren't being answered, consider this. He's ignoring you. Call someone new. Welcome to Scion Godsend. I have no announcements aside from the fact that Legend Lore is still going on. The November month is still... We're still in November. Thanksgiving feels like it should be the end of things. We hope you guys had a good holiday. If you celebrate, if you don't, well, then I hope you, like... I don't know what the replacement is, like punching colonizers in the face. Do what you gotta do. Or be Canadian, yeah. I don't. You guys are muted for my part of the introduction, so they can't hear you. Welcome back to Scion Godsend. We're very happy to be back. Well, like I said, we have no announcements. Let's jump right into meeting our Scion, shall we?
Hey guys, Charles here. Just making a temporary ashtray.
Oh, hey. We have Gideon Danger with a temporary sandwich.
Good day, dear viewer. As for your alternative god, I pose that if you are here weekly, you are already in a gathering that takes place on the day of Raw. And who is our god, if not our illustrious story guide, our illustrious dungeon master, Gilbert Ramos? And so, we would like to announce the founding of the Church of Ramos on this day.
Well, in addition to just planning on being a complete and utter menace to society today, the question I'm wondering is, for the next season, can we, or at least some of us, have the option to be Scions of Ramos? That would be neat.
No, you're not. I'm not. We're not doing. You're not part of a cult, okay? You, dear viewer, don't encourage this.
We all just have social anxiety as part of the pantheon. We don't take compliments.
It's not a compliment, it's blasphemy. Yeah, that's don't encourage them. Don't keep that out of chat.
Or do.
No. We
could be Ocelotl of Ramos instead.
No. We're gonna
Jaguar Warriors.
God damn it.
So do you prefer yes, my liege, or yes, daddy?
We're gonna pop right into today's episode of Scion Godsend.
Thanks, Sky Puppy.
Gregor, if you'd kindly.
All right. Well, since God has decreed it, I will once again give the recap upon you. The recap is as follows. Well, after a series of fortunate events, good findings, and discovering that not Charles is still around, the team more or less reconvened as Magin was kept away from us for openly carrying a gun like a fool. However, Magin was able to inspire freedom in a new follower of his, that poor campus security officer who now rides on the weekends but still has a day job. A member of the 99%, I believe, is what they called it. Now, after that was basically just... We were at a college. Our party god, or our will-be party god, and descendant of a party god, demanded a party. And as such, the greatest party was had. We pissed off Mark Wahlberg, and then immediately apologized because he was bringing food, showing our dedication to that.
I redact that statement. I didn't apologize for shit.
Gideon found out that Wahlburgers is probably the best restaurant to ever exist ever in all of history, and will probably sing its praises forever and ever, as it was the first foreign food besides that Danish that he had consumed. We ran into a bunch of celebrities to include Dr. Dolittle and Justin Bieber, who was weirdly at this party. None of us ran into Danny DeVito, though, but a mosh pit did get formed around Justin Bieber. And if I recall correctly, Imagine was attempting to get on the good side of a particular celebrity. I'm forgetting anything?
It's about accurate. Thalis was in business talks with Dwayne Johnson.
Right, there was that.
Thus furthering his personal goal of creating a line of business, a line of income that is not tied to his Sky Daddy. So that is where we join our heroes now, spread throughout this party. As you can very clearly see, Majin is not with us today. As such, there will be moments where you catch flashes of him. For the most part, Majin will be within the party, sort of doing what he was before, helping out certain celebrity, and continuing his own machinations. Reason being, as in the chat, Edge the Nomad says, he's sick, so we wish him the best of luck getting better, and we hope to see you guys, or hope to see him next Sunday. This is where we join our heroes now. Spread throughout the massive crowd, this 3-block party. So let's begin with some quick record keeping. You guys are at 3 momentum, as again we are at the 4-man overlay, and I was gone this past week, so there was no editing to be done. So you have 3 momentum, 2 collateral for everyone who's keeping track, and yeah, we'll go from there. What are you guys up to? Whoever, this is a full freeform. Who wants to go first? What are you guys doing in this moment?
I'm continuing to distribute Wahlburgers to the masses as I grill them upon my person and purge them of all guilt.
Excellent.
Those guilty cows.
Point of note. So purging them of all guilt. Wahlburger has mainly brought burgers here. There are sides. This may seem like a ridiculous question, but it does need to be asked. Do you purge the guilt from the fries and the side dishes as well, or is it just the burgers?
I have no desire to interact or engage with the potato.
Understood. So, for those Wahlburger customers that are still getting chili fries or fries as a side, guilt will still set in. But diminished. Who else?
Well, I'm still in talks with Dwayne Johnson about setting up the business opportunities there. Meanwhile, my duplicates were working on crowd control, as it were, making sure people could get to safety, duplicating themselves further if need be.
Excellent. Doing this, of course, having some conversation with Dwayne Johnson, getting some of the details worked out here and now, exchanging contact information, and then your duplicates are forming sort of a soft barricade, not really barricade, but soft perimeter around Charles and his mosh pit. For indeed, it is Charles's mosh pit. Gregor, what were you up to when we last left you?
I was navigating the, at the time, unwell-regulated mosh pit, searching for those I had summoned to this location, and luring them into, well, a shady location, probably an alley between two of the houses. Place where no doubt there are some mortals doing things that mortals do at college campuses.
Excellent. I need.
They're studying?
Yes, studying. We will get to you very shortly, Gregor. For the time being, though, Charles.
Yes.
In the middle of a mosh pit, Chim Chim is leaping from outside of the perimeter. Thalis, you've seen Chim Chim leap in and out past the Thalises, sort of encouraging others to join through these tiny fists. Charles, you are in the middle of the mosh pit. What are you up to?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, if I see any Thalises, I'm going to slap on side. just
Okay.
out of principle. Just let them ride out
Yeah.
existence if possible.
That's fair. If they take any damage, they do dissipate.
Okay.
So that's-
Fantastic.
yeah.
The audacity to try and control them. But
They'll make more if they need to.
that's perfectly fine. Beyond that,
They're like a Hydra.
I'm going to challenge the beaver himself to an amp versus amp battle. I would like to try and resolve my fate binding with him. It's my nemesis.
Excellent. So for some detail, some set piece, you do in fact see a couple of the Thalises. Thalis, you are your duplicates. So let's have, I don't really see, well, let's just do one roll and we'll call it that. Thalis, let's see if you'd like to dodge, if you'd like to defend by any means, go for it. Charles, an attack of some sort. Both of you free reign, free choice. Thalis, if you're dodging, I would imagine dexterity. If you're defending, combat things.
Yeah, so I was thinking, so is it just like any other roll we roll? So in this case, dexterity plus a skill?
Yes. You'd have to justify anything that's like specifically not combat, like science, dexterity, science wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But if you can make an argument for it, by all means.
No, I was thinking dexterity in close combat, just kind of to dodge it.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay.
Charles, what about you?
I'm thinking might and athletics,
Okay, sounds good to me.
and then I would like to use my specialty in close combat for martial arts styles.
Oh,
I like it. So, predicting how he's going to dodge, seeing if he has any combat training, using that to sort of cut off the dodge, cut off the. By all means. Rolls.
wait, actually,
And then I would
sorry, I just realized there's
like
something
to
that might make this
utilize-
kind of a moot point.
sorry.
I have the not a fighter knack. So while I'm engaged in a fight, as long as I do not make attacks, enemies will not target you directly with their attacks. So does he ignore this because we're on the same level, or?
So this is going to be. I'm going to call this a clash of wills.
Okay.
Because it is very interesting, Charles. A clash of wills from you and the Thalases. So a clash of wills. I should write
Can
this
I
down in
use
the common
a-
rule stock.
Can I use a reflexive action to instead cut through any manipulations, illusions, or falsehoods and just not do that? And expend an awareness to do so?
Thalis, read me your ability. Let's see if it falls under illusions, falsehoods. What was the other one, Charles?
Manipulations.
So it is called not a fighter,
Mhm.
and it is when you are engaged in a fight. As long as you do not make attacks, enemies will not target you directly with their attacks. Additionally, gain +1 enhancement to disengage and withdrawal rules. You must also have a partner or followers present for this effect to apply, because there's the Thalases together. It kind of meets the partner requirement.
Okay.
They can't gain any benefits from that, but it does meet the prerequisite.
And then what? This is a knack, correct?
Correct.
What
Heroic
kind?
knack.
Heroic knack. Of what kind, though?
Under lover.
Under lover.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I am gonna say that this is
If you want to just like do the clash of wills,
immediately
I'm cool with
putting
that
me
too.
into weird territory. I am gonna have you guys make a clash of wills. Because you're both using Charles, yours is a knack as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are gonna do a clash of wills. So for the purpose of knacks, clash of wills is resolved by making opposed knack skill plus applicable calling rolls. What is the calling that your knack falls under?
Lover.
Lover and Charles?
Yep.
It was a knack imbued into a relic.
Okay. This is okay. So track and all. I'm gonna call that probably. What callings do you have currently?
Let's see, liminal, destroyer, outsider.
Since this is actually a knack developed from a relic, so I'm gonna call this. How many dots do you have in the relic?
3 right now.
Okay, so you're gonna have 3 dots. Dallas, how many do you have in Lover? Okay, so you're gonna roll 2 dice. You're gonna roll 3 dice plus an applicable skill. So
Okay.
Charles, 3 plus whatever skill you'd like. Dallas, 2
I'd like
plus
to
whatever
use
skill you'd like.
Resolve in my mental arena.
Ooh. That would be an attribute, wouldn't it?
That would be an attribute, sir. A skill.
Oh, I apologize.
Not a problem. Just don't let it ever
I'll use
happen again.
Might.
By all means. I don't like the
Got you again, bitch. Anyways, I'm gonna use empathy.
God damn it.
No, I can also see empathy for this as well.
Yeah, by all means. You guys are killing me today.
4.
I got 5.
Ooh,
all right.
Hey, there we go.
Charles, you may target Thalis. You feel perhaps there's a couple blows where you just kind of swing and you he was just here. And you smack someone else that was next to him, and you swing again and you hit someone else, and you're like, why can't I hit you? After you kind of focus dead set,
That's a matter of principle.
This one Thalis kind of big smile. You guys can have an exchange if you'd like, but Charles, the next roll you make is going to be to attack. Thalis, the next roll you make is going to be to dodge. Is there anything you guys say to one another while this is going on?
Are you trying to contain me right now? Is that what's happening?
Not you. Just trying to keep them from getting hurt.
Is that what's going on?
No,
Spoiling my plans?
no.
Getting
Just
in the
getting
way?
people out if they need to get out.
Doesn't look like anyone needs to get out.
No.
You know what? That's fair. There's an exception, and then I'll slug them.
Okay.
Okay, so give me those rolls, gentlemen.
Just
Yeah,
one.
5.
Oh, yeah. Before the fallacies poofs, you're just gonna hear "harder, daddy."
Excellent. So
That's why I
Charles,
love him.
you punch, and the last thing you hear is "harder, daddy," and then dissipation.
Dionysus bless you.
Charles, your next thing on your item of agenda was to face down Justin Bieber.
Yes, the beaver itself.
Okay. So you peer into the crowd. You can very clearly, you have a fate binding, so I'm going to allow you can kind of peer past all the faces and you see him. He's currently squared off against somebody else right now. It doesn't look like a mosh pit. It looks like a fight.
Yeah.
There
I'm gonna
is
push that scrub around.
there is a man clad in green, sort of like a green screen suit, sort of the morph suit. A little bit heavier set, stubbier limbs, very short. But he looks like he's circling Justin Bieber, just like, and Justin is just kind of watching him, fists raised. What would you like to do?
Yeah, based on the description, I'm no longer going to fold this guy like a pancake. Instead, I'm just going to grab the beaver.
Okay, you go reach over and tackle the your fate bound. So, I am going to require just a single roll, Charles. You can use whatever you'd like. What is your intention here?
To challenge Justin Bieber to an amp versus amp.
Okay. So how do you want to do this? Just tackling him? What's the plan here?
I would tackle him, pull him in close enough to where he could hear me, and tell him that I'm going to beat him at his own game. Square the fuck up. And then walk him over to the Black Sabbath stage, just like tilt the stage over, like letting all the band equipment like just like slide off.
Excellent. So you sort of grab him by the scruff and maneuver through the crowd. There are those that kind of it's a mosh pit, so you're being bumped against. You're being not tackled per se, but sort of egged on into the writhing bodies. You focus and drag him to the stage. There's a lot of swearing coming from him. The green man is still following behind. No face, just again full morph suit. Just kind of watching. You bring him to the stage. What happens next, Charles?
Tell him to grab whatever instrument he wants, face the amps towards each other, and then I will grab a bass guitar, and I'll square off on my side. I'll let him go first, and see how it goes.
Is there anything that you say to him?
No, not yet. Maybe do your best. Don't disappoint me.
There's some words thrown at you. Confident that he's not going to be beaten at his own game. He's a musician after all. And before he was in the hip-hop game, he was very much known for, one, his lyricism, his voice, two, his ability to play instruments. So, there's a little bit of haggling that needs to be done with the band Black Sabbath that is on stage. Eventually he gets a guitar. I'm going to make some rolls. Charles, I'll get back to you very shortly. For now, we are going to cut to you, Gregor.
All right.
You eventually heading your way into an alleyway where you find some other college kids that are in the alleyway already studying, we'll say.
Yes.
In the middle of the
So
alley.
studying hard for that test. Yeah.
The herbalism
I hope
test.
they pass. Yeah, I hope they pass.
So, you find about 3 individuals already in the alleyway. You are being trailed by about 6 others.
Excellent. Gonna walk up to them. They clearly inebriated
With knowledge.
with knowledge. All right. Okay, so they're clear. In which case I'm gonna be like, hey, there's free food over there, and I'm gonna point towards the mosh pit.
Wait, what?
There's free food over there. You gotta go quick. It's going.
We
It's
already
going
had
fast.
Wahlburger, man. The Wahlburger was free.
Yeah. Really? You sure?
Yeah, dude.
How'd you
You're
have
made
it?
of like stars and shit. This is really good study material.
Exactly. Now imagine what the food's gonna taste like now that you've studied.
Dude, who am I to question a solar system, man?
Exactly.
The 3 of them get up and head over toward the mosh pit, and they're immediately engulfed by people. You're alone with your 6.
All right. I imagine by this point this is worn off.
Fading now, yes.
All right. I'm gonna just sit on something. Good day. Hello, you all. I'm not going to question who you are, but if you've followed me, I'm willing to bet. Do I recognize any of them from the social media stalking I did or the profiles I looked at?
You recognize maybe 1. The rest of them are not known.
Okay. Good day, all. I see one sorcerer amongst us. Who else is a sorcerer?
About 3.
Quotations are important. If you're actually a sorcerer, please leave. This isn't a sorcerer gathering.
They're they kind of look at one another, and no hands go up.
All right. Fair enough. You can't trust me. I don't blame you. I don't trust me either. I'm going to talk simply. We all have a bit of a conundrum. You're aware of the war?
One of them speaks up and says, "Not really. It's something that it's talked about on the web, but gods are keeping it quiet. Scions are telling us everything is fine."
It's not. And at least one of you is in trouble. Because gods are hunting individuals like us. And I point to him, just casually. Now here's the thing. I think they're misunderstanding motivations here. Look at him directly in the eyes. Or them. You didn't specify a gender. I'm not going to assume their gender. That's on me. My mistake. I look at them directly in the eyes. And I don't want to be hunted. Do you?
Not particularly fond of it, no.
Well, then, it looks like we have a bit of a conundrum in that nihilism is not going to be helpful for us as a whole.
So what do you propose?
Simple. We are all sorcerers, but gods are aware of who we are. At least one particular place has been breached. And I almost guarantee the record's going to be found soon enough. Given that how easy it was for that god to just get there. I kept meticulous records. So, I'm going to ask you all a question. Nihilism or humanity? How much do you value your ability to stay here?
A young man speaks up, standing in the back, says, "I have friends and family here.
Well,
They're important."
good. The rest of you?
It's a sort of unified nod.
Good. The king in yellow is their primary enemy, not all of us. I'm no servant of the king. However, full disclosure, if you know the Black Pharaoh, I am his kid. We are manipulative. I'm trying to manipulate everybody else into not thinking we're all that bad. But if I alone do it, and me and my brothers do it, then that's just, oh, he's the good god. That doesn't make everybody else think we're all that bad. And they won't let us slink to the shadows except for my pantheon. And I don't like that idea. Or except my dad's kids. And I don't like that idea. It goes against my dad's fundamental belief that if you can play a trick, you should. Especially if it's on humanity.
You're still not answering the question. What do you
Oh.
propose?
Simple. Do good deeds. Support gods, support dragons. But don't support the king's actions. If you find an individual of the king in yellow, stand against them. Make that clear. You're a sorcerer fighting against them, and the gods will find out who you are. Like I said, the village was breached. That's why I'm here. Well, no, that's not why I'm here, but the village was compromised. And I kept records. If you were ever at the village, I'm sorry to say, but you're known.
You had us solve a riddle and trace a bunch of steps just to tell us to do what we want?
No. How'd you solve a riddle and trace a bunch of steps to tell you to specifically fuck the king in yellow? I could have put that out there, but then the humans would have seen it, and we don't want his influence growing. He grows on the stage, and the more of the audience, the more the stage.
So we don't have to be unified. It's just
We need to be unified against him. We
against
find out
him, but these other factions you're talking about, dragons and gods, what happens when they fight one another?
pick a side. I would recommend the gods side because I feel like the gods are going to win this one. They tend to. But to put it simply, we hate each other. My dad hates a lot of us. We all hate each other. To attempt to force unity when our greatest weakness is that we all hate each other is tantamount to impossible, especially considering how deep the hatred goes. I mean, how many of you are incarnations? None? Not a single one? No Nodens? No Lilith?
Give me a roll, Gregor.
All right. What you need?
This will be... I'm going to call this your cunning. What do you think you need to read these people?
Integrity is my go-to for that kind of thing. Good with that.
By all means. Calling this as well a new scene, at least for Gregor's sake, we have 4 momentum at this time.
Excellent. That's 5.
Excellent. You gather that these individuals don't really know. They haven't reached that step yet. Being an incarnation is likely different. You probably don't know right off the bat if you're an incarnation.
Makes sense. Oh, you guys don't know. That's unfortunate. You probably don't even know who the King in Yellow is, do you?
One of them speaks up. A young woman in the back, next to the individual who spoke earlier, says, I do. We don't get visitations. Not like everyone else.
I know. I didn't know for a time. But the simple fact of the matter is you all have an opportunity. Once you know, the greater pantheon is going to see you as the greater pantheon, as a piece of your master, your benefactor. You will inherit their displeasures. Their scions will come for you. And that's just a fact of our pantheon. It's the reason why, despite everything, we can't take over this rock. Because one guy's sleeping over there, one guy's actively stopping other people over there. The King in Yellow is trying to put on a big show while the Shadow Pharaoh goes and interrupts it.
What about the king's children?
Conversion, at best. You can switch. If you end up not wanting whoever your parent is, you can switch. It is a completely an option. But should that happen, should they not be willing to switch, the less characters he has on the stage, the less powerful he is. And he wants this war to decimate this entire world, destroy everything your human sides value. I don't want that. I have at least 2 people I desperately want to protect. And I'm not about to let them die.
It's all well and good, but it doesn't exactly give us a means of communication. It doesn't give us a united front.
Well, for starters, the internet is how I got to you. The internet is a wonderful means of communications. A simple group chat of, hey, I found out this individual is a Scion of the King in Yellow. Someone go try to convert him. Could be the simple start. If you want, we can do something more dedicated. Sure, I could whip up a couple of weird owl creatures to act as our communications. If you want to go all Harry Potter. Alternatively, there is... No. We'll hold that off. No reason to bump things up yet. Simple fact.
She's about to say something, and then she's cut off by one of the individuals closer to you, a larger gentleman. Looks like he spends a lot of time in the gym. Says, this sounds fine to me. I just don't understand. What's the end goal? Just survival? Take out the king and then just live?
As of right now, that's all that needs to be. Our pantheons don't get together. You all don't know who your puppeteer is, and inevitably we will eat each other like every other aspect of our pantheon. The less close we get, the safer we'll be from each other. Heck, my own siblings will try to kill me if they get the chance.
It's a young man off to the right, leaning up against the wall. Hasn't said anything. He speaks up now. It's a bit smaller. Maybe about 2 inches shorter than you, Gregor. Your build. Says, what if I don't want to convert? What happens then?
Ah, good. Well, for one, I would highly recommend it. The king, while he has his benefits, has his issues as well. For one, he wants to drive the war, and while I'm not going to kill you, I would not see a reason to. The king is the known adversary of the gods. They will hunt you. Don't wear yellow. They will hunt you.
It's a bit cliche, don't you think? Don't wear yellow.
That's literally what most of them do. A lot of your siblings wear yellow. You can go talk to one if you want, but he's a bit of an asshole.
This is an ultimatum, and I'm not here for it.
And it's not an ultimatum I'm pushing. It's an ultimatum that will become upon you. The gods are aware. Scions have discovered his identity, and dragons are aware of his name. They know he's the main architect of this war, why it's happening now. And They put a hit on his incarnation not too long ago. Oh yes, your dad also incarnated into this world.
I'm aware.
Yeah. When his Scion failed, he came down. Now they're putting a hit on his incarnation. He'll probably activate you next.
I've already been activated.
Nice. Good for you.
I'm here on his behalf, but I came of my own accord. I wanted to see if you have anything better to offer, Gregor DeWitt.
Not impressive. You know my name. It was in the riddle. I'm simply offering a way to survive for the low-level Scions. I'm not trying to revolutionize the world here. I just want to be able to survive. Simple fact of the matter is, if I'm the only good one, if my siblings are the only good ones, the rest won't be able to survive. And something I find, and that's something I find troubling.
I don't think you'll be surprised to know that we all met before this.
Not at all. In fact, not at all. You were probably seeking them out, yeah?
We found one another because of the riddle.
Makes sense. That was the point.
But something that we're all curious about is you keep saying that he's on their radar, and his children will be on their radar as well. But aren't you on their radar too? Aren't you on the radar of the gods? We did some digging of our own, and we found a lot on you already. So, and you don't exactly hang out with the best of company. So who's to say that they're not going to come for you next? And track us down because of our connection to you. Even just this conversation, do you think that gods don't see in alleyways?
Oh, no, I'm almost certain of it. That's why the Titan, the monkey, and the monkey are here, because they'll be more distracting. As for the gods, as for this situation, as for you, to put it most simply, me, they won't come from me, because I'm the good one. I'm trying to submit myself there, giving you the opportunity to do so as well actively. Heck, be a double agent. Side against your dad to make it so the King in Yellow doesn't look as bad. And some of his scions are monitored. And then we'll just wait for them to forget about us like they always do.
Give me a reason not to betray you, Gregor. I'm doing my absolute best here, but I'm not seeing what you're seeing, I guess.
Okay. You are human. You have family, yes?
Manufactured.
Manufactured. You were created, not like... Are you Philip's brother? Is that what this is? Did he recreate Phil's brother? Are you Phil's brother?
No.
Okay. That's unfortunate. I would have had a wonderful surprise for you. I don't not expect treachery within our pantheon. That's why at best this was a loose alliance. Because we hate each other. The simple fact of the matter is this is a matter of necessity and timing. You can say no. But when people ask, I mean the gods watch in alleyways, when that happens, when that occurs, you will likely be destroyed. Not that I imagine you care much, given the servants of the King in Yellow don't tend to care when they're destroyed. I saw it happen. However, I will point out, while this is just a alliance of circumstance, an alliance of matter of coincidence, as it was, you are alive. There are people who want to kill you, who want to kill me, who would want to wipe us all out. I don't want that. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not all of our fault when one of us acts up. We're not a united pantheon. We are a pantheon that exists because we don't fit in other places. You want a reason to trust me? You're asking a child of
I don't want
the
a reason
crawling.
to trust you, Gregor. I want a reason to listen to you. Because right now, you're spewing bullshit. Forgive me, I don't yet have my father's flair for theatrics and pretty words. But you aren't giving me or any of these people anything. Fight along dragons, fight along gods. Unite with gods and dragons against the King in Yellow. You're not giving me any reason to think that he's not going to win. He's been doing this for far longer than you have, for far longer than they have, and you're not giving me anything to fight with. You're not giving me anything that shows that I'm going to choose the winning side by standing on your fractured line.
What do you think happens if he wins?
I continue.
Did you do? What happens after that? What happens after he wins? Are you not aware of the rivalries? You're not, are you? Because once Earth is no longer sacred isn't the right word. Once Earth is no longer protected, I almost guarantee the stars will be right. In fact, I do guarantee the stars will be right. I guarantee Earth will become a battlefield far worse. You know of things lurking. You are one of the things that lurk. What do you know of the sleeper in the sunken city?
Do tell, Gregor.
He sleeps now. But one of ours is on this world. I've seen him. He is resting for now. His chief enemy is your dad. If your dad has his way with this world, I don't think you'll be alive. Because you're going to be thrust into a war within the Pantheon between your dad and the Sleeper. I dare not say his name, but you artistic folks tend to dream of him. Probably had that dream too, realistically, if the king came for you. If you're a painter, he definitely would have come to you. When the king wins and humanity is no longer sacred and protected, because it is protected.
Gregor, in this moment, you are interrupted. Someone is coming down the alleyway. Jovial, laughing. We'll get to you again very shortly. Gideon.
Yeah.
You are crafting burger.
So While all of this indulgence and matters of kinship have been very satisfying to explore, I am nonetheless a force of nature, and my desire to spread my my energies, the energies of my purview, are not without their own merit. So I will finish my last round, and then how many of the Wahlburger trucks are still remaining, like that have been like unutilized?
3
Okay.
currently. The semis are parked in between their stations,
Mm.
and there are about 3 that are left unopened.
I point to one of the trucks that are unopened. And I say basically to everyone there, like in the area where I'm standing, the employees, the people that are there, and I will say, I lay claim to this conveyance and all within it. It is mine by might, not by right. And those who would seek to dissuade me shall join the slain cattle within in both form and spirit.
So the words you speak, the way you speak them, the size of you contribute to a lot of things. The workers are like, I don't. Okay. Do we? Should we? Do you want us to tell Mr. Wahlberg, or is that like, is this a robbery or?
It is a claim I am taking for myself what I choose to take. And I'm
Okay.
starting with that truck.
Okay. Yeah. Sure,
I
man.
walk by them, and I will detach the trailer from the truck itself, and I'll begin dragging it over to the bar area. And when I get to the bar area, I will point at a pallet of beer kegs, and I will say again to these people, I lay claim to these libations. If you would stand before me in an attempt to prevent this appropriation of malted barley, the fluids within your hearts and organs will instead serve as the purifying agent for what is to come.
This gets a little bit more of a kickback. Drunken college students, with the proclamation that someone will be taking their kegs of beer. Yeah, there's a couple people that are gonna kind of move up, trying to be pulled back by their friends. A couple people step up and say, "You can't take our beer, dude. That's kind of a party foul, don't you think?"
It is no longer yours. It is mine to take.
Dude, this is our frat house, man. This is the community's beer. This is the brothers' beer.
I'm going to swat the yammering one.
He goes flying into the crowd, presumably caught by some party goers.
Yes, I set the gauntlets for stun. It's just a swat.
Yeah, track and all.
That is your one warning. The next will result in bloodshed.
Boo!
I walk over and I grab one of the pallets and I lift it onto my shoulder and I drag both the pallet and the keg, well, the pallet and the truck to an open area that is likely not filled with people, probably like just inside the lava spout ring that's going off right now, maybe like where the majority of the trash and debris have been shuffled off to, like with empty kegs and the bags of refuse behind the porta potties, right?
Yeah.
I lay the pallet down and then I rip open the back of the truck and begin pouring its contents, like the burger trays and the carts and everything else, and I create a mountain of meat and fixings. And then I take the rest of the contents and I shower them with like buns, raw fries, pickles, onions, potatoes. I grab like the plastic condiment jars and begin detonating them all over the mound, right?
Excellent.
And I take the first keg and I rip the spout off of it and I begin pouring it over the truck and the mountain of meat and burger, purifying my altar in service of the ritual that I am going to partake in. And then I will say, as was done in ancient times, I purify this altar with barley so that I may give offerings, libations, and speak with glory and respect to the gods of Mount Olympus. And I reach out to Hermes, son of Maia Zeus, god of thieves, Hermes the trickster, the luck bringer, slayer of Argos, messenger of the gods, and overseer of the marketplace, business and trade. I call upon the jack of all trades with this offering of feast and libation. I say to the sky that I offer this food as a sacrifice, and as I do so, I will ignite everything and begin cooking the truck worth of burger. I offer this food as a sacrifice upon this altar, purified with malted barley and overflowing with burgers of beef. I beseech your aspect not as messenger or son, but thief, traveler and master of transport. And I hold the biggest single barbecue moment that I can hold.
There,
Go ahead.
without a doubt, there's people still kind of watching and surrounded. They see this, they hear your proclamation. Gideon, I would love a cunning and whatever you think you would need to notice things among the crowd that may be off.
I'll say maybe off.
Yes,
Subterfuge.
to notice things. Subterfuge would work.
Subterfuge or empathy, either or.
Yeah, whichever one you.
Is it trying to conceal itself? Whatever it is.
Without a doubt.
Okay, then I will use my empathy and I will use my subterfuge specialty of disguise.
By all means.
And how does specialties add? Is it just an enhancement?
Yes, it'll be an extra specialty. I believe is either an extra die or an extra just +1. I believe it's an extra die. I'll verify at the break.
Okay. I will also, since I am engaging in rapacity, I will utilize my value. So I don't think anybody's done this yet.
Yeah, this is a whole new thing.
So I will call upon my virtue as well. And it says every point of momentum you spend to augment a roll with virtue, blah, 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 blah. So I will spend 1 momentum if that's okay with everybody else.
Perfectly fine. With you leaving the burger stand, this will be a new scene for you. And creating the altar, this will be 5 momentum. Using 1 will drop down to 4.
Okay. So I get another die out of that. And I must continue to act along my virtue, which I am doing. So, all right, let me go ahead and make this roll. What am I noticing with 2 successes?
Excellent. So firstly, I'll say this. Thalis, an offering has been made to the gods of Mount Olympus, specifically Hermes. You yourself are drawn. You find your consciousness, your focus drift from Mr. Johnson's words over to the fire. Strange supernatural tug at your heart, slight that it may be. This is not your offering, it's not for you, but you feel a pull. Families coming to town, or perhaps family is already here. Gideon, within the crowd, you notice there's an individual moving quickly through the crowd. It doesn't seem to be noticed. He seems to be a slip between the spaces, the liminal spaces between individuals and dancers and partygoers and drinkers. He moves expertly, slithering like a snake through the crowd. He has a hat on his turned back. There's some insignia along the sides. He's moving. He's peeking around people and checking their faces and then moving on. He's here already. You've drawn his attention. He looks toward the fire and flames. Gives a smile. Takes off the cap. And looks right up at you.
Is it the god of the feast?
It is. Begins to maneuver through the crowd, worming his way through. Now you see people bump into him. Now you see people sort of perceive his presence. But he moves up. He says, as he reaches the edge, standing before you, says, I was here as psychopomp. Now you call me for other purposes.
I call you as trickster and thief, as purveyor and master of transport. I care not for your loyalties or your family. Great deeds stand before me, and you will do your part to aid my quest, as our actions are, like it or not, in your best interest to help us fulfill.
What could you possibly know of my best interests?
The forces of devastation are upon Hestia's hearth, and if you would not see the goddess of home stripped of her comfort and purpose, you will heed my request and disregard your lineage in service of that which must be done in this moment. Is the offering acceptable? I will stand before the glowing embers of burger and beef and bread and barley, and I will offer him a keg. Shall we talk?
Takes up the keg from your fingers, and as he does so, he takes a deep breath. You see the embers and ash and burning things drift, almost as if sucked in by that of a hurricane, just drift on this panel, this tunnel of air into his nose and his mouth. I accept your offering. I've never been one to turn down an interesting conversation.
Question for Story Guide. So I think it's like once per like act or whatever, you can use a minor sacrifice in service of a major one to gain back a legend. I would like to do that now, if that's okay.
You may absolutely do so.
Okay.
You regain legend through the offering, the minor sacrifice being the burgers and the barley that has been sacrificed. Feel power return to you. I believe this doesn't put you over legend, correct?
I was getting back the one that I used for my eruption, the upheaval that I caused earlier.
Excellent. You do this, and you have the attention of Hermes.
Okay. I will grab my own keg. We're gonna go for a walk.
You guys do. The individuals, the college party, the mortals, certainly interested and intrigued. However, it's a lot of it's very much akin to celebrity. They're watching him go, and you can see that there's some people who kind of want to ask for an autograph. They have seen your display here, though. They don't follow behind. No one hassles him or you as you guys make your way to the edge of the party itself.
I continue to leave smoking, smoldering, lava-filled footprints behind me.
Excellent.
My purviews are on full bore right now. I can't hide them and do this at the same time. So
Understood. For a note, Thalis, you saw this happen. The draw of attention from the sacrifice itself, and the revelation that Hermes was here already and revealing himself. I would say that this drew your attention. You can, of course, do what you will with the information, but or continue to just speak with Mr. Johnson. But you are aware, and you saw Gideon walk off with Hermes. Gideon, we'll get back to you very shortly. Thalis, is there anything that you would like to do in this moment with that information?
With that information, not particularly. Because although while it did certainly catch my interest, he wasn't necessarily here for me. So,
Excellent.
I don't feel that I have really any business with him at the moment. Excuse me. Although, before it does get too late, and I can have one of my duplicates do this if need be, provided that their duties are taken care of. We did still have the matter of that event that we were going to be attending coming up.
By all means. Continue.
And I realize it's the day before, um, but I want to see about first how many remaining tickets there are, um, and then I want to purchase the rest of those tickets to make sure that we really just reduce the King's audience as much as possible.
By all means, you or one of the Thalises has this idea to do this, so another will split off and engage in this. So let's have some rolls from you, Thalis. What's the first item on the docket? How do you want to approach this?
First, I want to go through all the regular means. So any major ticket sites that would be selling these, and deplete their stock, using multiple accounts if need be, or a perhaps a VPN service that is not yet sponsoring us.
Excellent. That is easily done. I will require no roll. You have a large sum of money at your disposal that you can easily do this from. What's the next item?
Okay. The next item would be using perhaps social media accounts, to see if there's any tickets that I can procure through that. If anybody wants to sell their tickets. Excuse me.
So I would love a manipulation roll and whatever you would like to use for skills for this. Being that it is over the internet, I can see manipulation technology. I can also see manipulation subterfuge because you're not exactly disclosing why you want this ticket or why it's so imperative that you're getting it. Manipulation persuasion, manipulation empathy if you want to go out, integrity, leadership. There's a lot of things to choose from here. Your choice.
I think I'd like to go manipulation persuasion.
By all means.
Got a total of 3 successes there.
3 successes. So, Thalis, you are basically putting out a post that says, like, does anyone have tickets to this man speaker conference? I need tickets now. From various sock accounts. You do this, and you're hit by a number of individuals that are scalpers, basically, saying they'll sell it to you for the price that they purchased it for plus a number of dollars after.
Finder's fee, as it were.
Exactly. Is there any haggling that goes on, or are you willing to pay whatever it takes?
I'm not really too worried about haggling. I'm just trying to get the tickets off the market.
Understood. With 3 successes, you have a number of tickets in the higher double-digit range. That you purchase here.
I'm not really sure if there would be any other avenues to pursue there. I'm not usually one to go shopping for tickets through more shady sources. So, if that is a thing, then can I explore those avenues as well?
You may absolutely do so. For this, again, I'm going to say manipulation, whatever you would like. It's going to be basically hopping onto the more shady parts of the internet.
Okay.
You may or may not purchase tickets that do not exist or purchase tickets that are fake.
Yeah, it's a risky take with these things. So again, I wanted to try manipulation persuasion.
By all means.
Only 1 success that time.
Understood. 1 success. You purchased a number of tickets. Again, they may be fake. But this is, I'm going to call this sort of an ongoing thing. And with the 3 successes, with the 1 success on the dark web, basically, I will give you a total by the end of the night of how many tickets you have, and what is, for the record, Carnegie Hall seats 3,671 people.
Okay.
So I will give you a total number of how many tickets you purchased and what you have per the end of the night.
Okay. Roll20 acted a little weird on me. Didn't register the first click until just while you were saying that. So I'm not going to count that second roll that was a 6. So just the 3 and the 1.
If it's a Roll20 issue, then by all means.
Yeah. No, it was the second one was because I thought it hadn't gone through, and So the first one was the intended role.
Track it all.
I didn't want to take the dishonest route there. That's not about that life. So.
Thalis, you have a number of individuals, and to truly, we could probably spend the last hour and a half of this session figuring out what each of the Thalises do, but instead of doing that and having you make rolls for all of them, give me a brief rundown of what every Thalis is doing. You have one of them talking to Dwayne Johnson. Another is sort of doing this work online. Another is probably doing the one for the dark web.
Yep.
You have several that are still trying to maintain the perimeter of the mosh pit.
Yep.
Is there anything else you would like to accomplish with the Thalises?
In addition to the ones getting them out of the mosh pit and whatever, they'll be escorting them to, say, a medical professional or at least safety if need be. And that's just kind of encompassed in their duties, but that's about it. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. So with that being said, we're going to jump back over to Charles real quick. Charles, I've made some rolls. Justin himself has played rather well. No one that is here at the Black Sabbath stage wanted this. No one asked for this. No one wanted to see him perform. So it was not well received.
Fantastic.
Charles, I'd like you to make a roll. This is a true sort of just amp off.
Is it for the performance?
I would love that.
Fantastic. I would like to get on the mic, say, I am Charles Michael, the voice of the unbound. This goes out to everyone enjoying a brawl and the spoils of the sweat of their brow, the blood shed from their knuckles for the sake of camaraderie, and just enjoying yourselves in friendly competition. And then I'd like to perform a marvel.
Excellent. You guys are, for the record again, with you, Charles, moving up to the stage, back up to 5 momentum. For the record, performing a marvel. What marvel are you performing here, Charles?
I would like to emulate a boon.
Emulating which boon, Charles?
Heartfelt expression.
What does that do, Charles?
Deeply affects the audience to where they feel the expression that I'm currently trying to convey with extreme accuracy. They are deeply affected by it. The entire audience and everyone who perceives the artistic interpretation that I deliver gets a +1 to their attitude. This lasts even beyond when the boon is finished and you unimbue legend normally. Since I would be performing a marvel, I have to spend the legend instead. So
excellent. So this normally would have you imbue it, but correct?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you will need to spend the legend.
Mm-hmm.
So, take some narrative control, Charles. You spend the legend, or are you spending awareness? I remember you saying that that was an option for you earlier.
I don't believe I have another awareness if I had to spend it earlier.
I don't believe you did spend it earlier. That was a question of
Oh, fantastic. Then yes, I will absolutely not spend an awareness. And just
fair warning. Spending awareness for this will make it a little strange.
Yeah, I'm not spending an awareness. I will absolutely not do that.
You sure?
Yeah, because I'm also going to invoke my legendary title, as I stated in my little introduction, Voice of the Unbound.
Excellent. So, multiple things happening here. You're using the emulate boon marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Spending a legend, invoking your title. On Voice of the Unbound, you're performing a feat of scale, or you're invoking the calling? Invoking the calling.
Feat of skill, doesn't that expend legend, or do both expend legend?
Feat of scale spends legend. Invoking calling and spends legend as well.
Fantastic. Then I'll make it feat of scale.
Okay. So you're gonna bump up your scale for this. Your legend divided by 2, rounding up. Yes.
If at all possible, for the marvel, I would like to use my armor's motif of the infinite tempest and crashing tide, because I'm trying to build upon the wholesome bar brawl mosh pit that I used in the last session with the marvel and the upheaval.
I like it.
I want it to be building upon the camaraderie of it, and focusing on that. If I can successfully utilize that motif, I would also like to utilize the purview attached to it of epic strength to focus on an extension of breaking free from establishment in place of camaraderie.
For you, this is for your Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that epic strength wouldn't suit the boon you're trying to emulate.
Well, my thought process being I'm trying to build bonds of camaraderie, and epic strength specifically says I can utilize might and presence in place of presence for that, is why I would be utilizing it.
Interesting proposal.
I would still use presence based on what the boon specifically says, but that's my thought process for utilizing the purview and the motif that I would be using.
Let's see. Let me double check some things. So, I'll allow it.
Fantastic. Then from there, Charles starts laying out the base of Rust, Dust, and Guts from the Doom Eternal soundtrack.
Okay. So take some narrative control here, Charles, as you make your roll for performance. This is done at a feat of scale. As a feat of scale, you're at scale 1. Along with the boon you're emulating, have obviously operate under the boon that you're emulating and make any rolls that are needed. If it provides you enhancement, do not forget to add that.
Okay. It says it will be presence plus legend versus composure plus legend if anyone tries resisting the heartfelt expression. Aside from that, they just feel emotions.
Okay.
And then for the performance, I would like to use my epic strength to build the bonds of camaraderie. I was, if at all possible, if not, I'm cool with presence, not a big deal. With the way I'm doing this and I'm using legend and everything, I was thinking using athletics for playing the bass, and then using my specialty and empathy for ambition, like
I'm gonna.
if not, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no to that one, bud.
Okie dokie.
There's you're inciting emotions at this point. Make the roll for performance, and we'll add everything up as we go.
All right. So I'm going to do presence and athletics. Is that okay for the performance itself?
Sure. Yeah. Some acrobatics being done here. Some kicks and such, like the rock stars of old.
2 explodes. I got 7 successes.
Okay. We're gonna call this narrative scale, so that'll be multiplied by 2. So, that is 14 successes.
What kind of enhancements do I get for invoking the title?
So the invocation of a title is what gives you the feat of you performed a feat of scale.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
You performed a feat of scale with your title, so that's what's giving you this times 2 multiplier.
Fantastic.
So 14 successes totaled up. Obviously, to no one's surprise, Mr. Bieber could not hold up. So take some narrative control, Charles. What emotions are these people feeling? What's the vibe that you convey?
The vibe is one of I don't know how many people have been in mosh pits during like heavy bass guitar riffs and things like that, but it's not a hateful vibe. It's a vibe of manic energy, and like you, at least for me, feel very like it's very strong sense of camaraderie with everyone around you and like enjoying this energy together. And it would be that type of thing. anyone in the mosh wouldn't necessarily want to leave the mosh because they're enjoying it. Like, they're not trying to specifically beat the shit out of each other and incapacitate each other. They're just enjoying the moment and enjoying the competition.
Well said, Charles. You play your song. You can see, the Thalises can see, and you, I suppose, can see that the perimeter that has been established by the Thalises needs to be pushed back. People are rushing to be a part of this now. The Thalises ends up needing to fall back a bit to establish a new line. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of there's a lot of shoving. There's a lot of push, but it all seems to be in sway to your musical notes. There is a moment where Mr. Bieber begins to try to play a note, and something gets chucked at him. You're not sure if it's a rock. You're not sure if it's like just a bundled up brown bag full of Wahlburger, but he takes the hint very quickly.
Were there excess successes that I could do Twist of Fate with?
So, Twist of Fate would require you to bump up on your paths. Like, you'd have to invoke a path.
Oh, invoking a path?
Mm-hmm.
Balls. I always get that confused with the title for some reason.
So Charles, very clearly you have won the crowd over. You have defeated your nemesis. What happens next? So there are a few things that can happen when you resolve this, depending on how you want to do this. For the sake of this right now, Mr. Bieber is the sworn enemy of you, the nemesis, as the fate-bound condition. If you kill him, there's something will happen. If you defeat and spare him, there's something that will happen. How do you want to do this? If you make peace with him, there's something that will happen.
I would like to make peace with him with the knowledge, securely fastened in both of our minds, that I am his better.
Understood. What do you say in this moment, Charles?
It's okay, man. Not everyone can be good at everything.
It's just not my style of music, you know?
That's entirely fine, and I mean, that's part of the whole amp versus amp thing.
Well done, man. Holds out a hand.
You too. Shake his hand.
He withdraws from the stage. Charles, what do you do next? Where are you going?
Stage dive. Crowd surf.
Immediately caught by the gentlemen and ladies that are in the crowd. We quickly fade from the scene as you are dragged, or rather carried, around the mosh pit. We quickly fade from that. Gregor, to your intruder in the alleyway.
City's coming from behind?
Coming from one end of the alley. It doesn't exactly come from behind. You cause yourself to stop mid-sentence because you are being interrupted. A gentleman in a sort of light purple dress shirt. Looks like it might be some sort of very soft material. Maybe not silk, but it looks to be quite flowy. Open down 2 buttons, exposing just a little bit of the chest. You see dark pants, look like club attire. His hair is combed. No grease or product or anything that keep holding it in place. It's just a little bit of curls to it as well. Cascades just above his shoulders. Approaches and says, "Hello, gentlemen. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just looking for a place for some quiet."
Good day.
Gregor, you immediately get the scent of olives and hot air and the sound of murmuring crowd. It's quite intense. And that is where we're going to pause here to take our break. We will rejoin and see who is visiting Gregor in this moment. We'll see you very soon. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Right on cue. Bindi, you're
Thank you, Bendy.
top tier.
Good job, Bendy.
Gregor,
Yes.
you're interrupted by an individual in a off purple dress shirt and club attire. Said he was just looking for a space to relax.
Afraid this isn't it, friend. I'm sure on the other side of the house you'll find something, or even out back, assuming there isn't more people studying. Unless you want to relax by studying.
Well, perhaps, seems like a grim bunch here. No offense. All of you look like you're having a conspiracy meeting. But perhaps I can lighten the mood if you're interested. And he reaches into a pocket, pulls out this metal case, flat. Opens it up and you see 6 or 7 cigarettes, hand-rolled.
I will take one. I'll take one as offered, but I will not partake as of now. Thank you, but we are in the middle of something.
By all means, I'll, you don't mind if I take at the end of the alleyway?
I look back. How far away is that? So, I mean, this is in the fraternity houses, so I imagine that's not very far.
Not too far at all.
Okay.
Maybe 7 feet.
I got the scent of olives, yeah?
Olives and the sound of a murmuring crowd.
Sound of a murmuring crowd. Well, olives tells me one thing. Perhaps. I'm afraid that wouldn't be prudent. If you don't mind.
Well, discretion is important, I suppose. You kids have fun. He closes the case and hands it off to somebody, sort of forcing it into their hand. And he saunters away, end of the alleyway. He lights a cigarette and then disappears before he returns to the crowd.
Random. But I suppose Scions of that pantheon have been randomly showing up recently. That was probably my bad. Where were we?
The woman speaks up and says, "We shouldn't continue to speak here if we've already been noticed."
'Tis fair. We can go into one of the houses. They're all open. Wouldn't be hard to get a room. Kids partake and study here all the time. And if your individual reputations are important to you, that is. Mortals do see things.
She kind of looks at everyone around her and says, "I'm out. You guys can find me online. But for now, it's too weird."
When you find out who your parent is, do tell. I'm always interested in knowing someone from another.
She nods and departs. A couple of the others look around and says, "Yeah, we're out too. We'll convene online. This is a little bit of an open space. At least on the internet there's encryption."
'Tis fair. 'Tis fair. By all means.
One by one they filter away. You're left with the son of the king in yellow.
So, child of the king. I know for a fact the king doesn't care about you. He's destroyed several of his own scions in front of me. If you don't want to convert, I'm not going to stop you from being that, but you will be my enemy. And you know who I am.
We're going to come to blows right here in an alleyway?
No. Unless you want to. I don't fire first.
Good policy.
Exactly. But the offer will always stand. And I believe you said something about wanting something. What is it that you want? What is the king, the person you're going to? Is it just because he created you? Because I can tell you right now, it's not the best. Well, very few of them are good dads.
You don't understand anything. You don't understand. I never said I was loyal to him. You weren't listening.
You don't have the choice. He's going to kill you if you change. You don't think the other one will protect you?
See, that's my issue, all right? You think you've got a handle on this and you don't. You're laying out your plans and you're sending out your secret messages and things. I volunteered for this job.
You weren't. So he didn't create you.
I'm a little different. But I volunteered to come here on his behalf to get some information. Again, on his behalf. I was curious to see what you would say. What reasons you would give to join gods or dragons, but instead you offered up both. Your enemy is the king, but
the king is attacking both sides.
I came here personally because I wanted to see what you were going to offer. You didn't offer anything, and you still have yet to give me a reason to side with your fractured line, because make no mistake, you haven't done anything. You have taken down one Scion, and you think you'd know his children.
You don't know who I am.
I know exactly who you are.
You know who Gregor DeWitt is. How old am I?
Infinite.
No. Gregor DeWitt, 6 years old. Saying infinite is cheating, by the way. We're all pieces of them. We're all infinite. We'll return to them when the time comes.
Then you should specify your questions better.
How old? So, what was my profession before existing?
A teacher.
Were you one of mine?
No.
Explains why your humanity is so low. Here is the easiest way to explain this. Both sides are going to hate us. Scions are trying to point the finger at the mythos pantheon as a whole. I don't want that. You shouldn't want that. Because they're going to hunt all of us in the street. If you want to survive, because, let's face it, you don't know about the Sleeper. The Sleeper is going to stop the king from actually achieving his goal. We are our own worst enemy.
You are grasping at straws. Let me offer you some information, free of charge. What you're proposing is some fight with the gods, some fight with the dragons. That's what he wants. You're playing right into his hands. He's using dragons, Gregor. So, how many do you think are actually going to believe? How many of these gods do you think are actually going to take their ego and put it aside and not see that there's something they never saw? They dealt with the dragons. They know them. That's the enemy. So putting our people on the side of the gods and the dragons, that's a mistake. you're going to get your family killed.
All
He
right.
is using this war for his grand play, and you are playing your part perfectly.
What do you know of the Shadow Pharaoh? Tell me.
More than I would like to, probably less than I need to.
Doesn't answer me. How do you think he operates?
Hopefully more carefully than I've seen so far.
Oh, no. I'm afraid the Shadow Pharaoh is also a corrupting bastard of an agent. The simple fact of the matter is, my father wants people on all sides. He'll always want people on all sides. Because he doesn't care about the sides. I'm playing into that. And yes, that is partially the king's play. But I will point out, no matter which side wins, there'll be some good ones. I don't care about the war. I care about making sure there's some good ones. That's the point.
You're an altruist.
No. Don't assign such things to me. What's important isn't, but I will say what is important. Don't assign simple words to me. Don't do that. Those are human concepts. What's important is that we are not destroyed. The King in Yellow has been identified by both sides as the main driving force. I'm sorry to say, but you're going to get hunted. And as my dad would have me do, and my dad would have me do to my own kin, reveal them and get them hunted.
You're not thinking big enough, and you're not looking at the big picture, and it's going to fail.
I think you're looking a bit too big. Because if you focus on the cosmic scale, here's what you end up missing. Humanity is important.
I don't
There's a
disagree.
reason we're here. We need to make sure we can still access them. If we side with gods and the dragons win, we lose that access. The dragons will hunt us
Don't
all.
disagree. What you're proposing is what has always been done. You yourself have stated that you are following your father's example. That's where you're going to fail, Gregor. That's where you and I are different. I can see that my father is wrong. I came here of my own accord, hoping that you would be a wise enough ally, and it turns out you're disappointment. Can you see my frustration?
What do you propose? Picking a side?
A solid side, cementing ourselves with one side or the other. Yes, it's exposing ourselves. Yes, it brings us into the light. But does it offer protection? Yes. Does it offer fraternity? Absolutely. Does it offer a chance to purge the ones that are fucking this up for everyone? Absolutely. You're proposing scattered agents, as always has been done, and that is what is sowing the seeds of doubt and discourse. Do you think that the gods are going to care if there's good ones? Do you think the dragons are going to care if there's good ones? No, they're going to care that their ranks have been infiltrated, like you want. So we have an enemy. I
didn't say hide.
We have an enemy. The rest of us, instead of playing both sides, should unite for our cause, form an ally in either the gods or the dragons, whoever we feel is strongest, and kill the ones that are fucking this up.
If you pick a solid side, here's what happens. One, picking the gods. If we pick the gods are aware of us. The gods are firmly aware of us. What'll end up happening is gods are treacherous assholes. You know this. You have to know this. You've seen Zeus. Yes, you've seen him on the news. We don't want a total decimation of either side, because the balance is what we need. If we pick the gods will betray us. We pick the dragons might be noble, might be honorable, maybe will side with us, but we will always be underneath their boot. I can operate freely there. I can operate really well there. A servant of however, many of us can't. And we still apotheose. So, since we go through apotheosis like gods, the dragons will kill us once that happens. If we pick a solid side, short term, we win. Long term, we lose. If some of us are the good ones on all sides, open about it. Now, I never said hide yourself. Be open about it. You don't have to say who your dad is. Hell, claim he's Nyarlathotep.
Even with your proposal of not hiding yourselves, having some on one side or the other, or both, having some side with either or, it's going to cause discourse, and that is where you're going to fuck up. Gods are going to see Mythos on the dragon's side and call them wrong.
And gods are seeing Titan spawn on the dragon's side and calling them wrong. And Titan spawn on the god's side and calling them wrong. We're going to occupy the same space.
How is that worked out for the Titans?
Given their fundamental overtness, not well.
As a whole, yes, you're absolutely right. There are some of the good ones. The Shen take them in, the Tengri take them in by all means. But as a whole, the Titans are looked at as monsters.
We are monsters.
We can be more, and that is where your sight falls short. Stay out of my way, Gregor DeWitt. Clearly, you don't fully understand. When I dethrone the king, if your side, your fractured mythos, is still coming for that mantle, I will wipe every single one of them out. Enjoy the party. He departs.
Interesting. I suppose he's on the god side.
You are left alone in an alleyway, Mr. DeWitt. What do you do?
That is interesting. Very interesting. I'm gonna get up. Walk out. Probably light that cigarette. Start walking.
This may be a dumb question, but do you inhale?
Yes. If it tastes like anything beyond just nicotine, I'm gonna stop though.
Definitely tastes like beyond nicotine. One puff and mine gets hazy.
God damn it.
You take a step, world turns. Another step, it darkens. Another step, you're floating. And we'll get back to you again very shortly, Mr. DeWitt.
Not again.
Be careful with illicit study material.
Always buy from a proper distributor. So, Charles, your crowd
Didn't buy it.
Let's touch on Gideon. Walked off with Hermes.
Yep. As it seems that he found the offering suitable, I will just casually engage him in conversation. I must say, I've always been relatively fond of your legend. The gifts of swiftness and expedition, while not mine by nature, were nonetheless gifted to me by my former mentors, aided me in my life as both a hunter of the wayward and a stalker and nightmare. Now, much like you, my gifts allow me to move about the world with haste and vigor, with no small amount of trailblazing. And it is these journeys that have led me to this conversation and a desire to beseech you in matters most dire.
Interesting. Do you find yourself a psychopomp as well?
A what a pump?
A ferryman for the dead.
No, quite the opposite. I'm more of a, was more of a reclaimer. Reclaimer of those who would seek to escape judgment. I would provide them with the oblivion that they sought in
Interesting.
my former life.
And now?
I've shed those manacles. It is no longer my purpose.
Well, you flatter me with the recognition of my legend. I'm afraid I can't do the same. From the sounds of it, you operate within the liminal spaces, yet I have not encountered you before.
Perhaps with what I have to discuss with you, you'll understand why. As I said before, we continue. This conversation needs to happen independent of your, or even our, mutual lineage. I'm not looking to speak with Hermes, messenger of the gods, Hermes the Olympian. I need your most discerning mantle to be present here. Are we clear?
So we are of no confusion. You speak now with Hermes the Free.
I smile. Probably eerily, but yeah. And it is that Hermes which, again, I've been fond of. It has come to my attention that the island of Corsair will become essential to my quest. And while it is well within my essence to simply declare it and what is there as my own, I've come to understand the value of matters of kinship. And in many ways, we are kin, as are those who would seek to protect what is there.
What do you think is there?
The pillars of heaven are already on the move. Those loyal to Kronos will be on my heels, and while I do not anticipate another Titanomachy, there will likely be an upheaval. I take it upon myself as a responsibility to handle whatever the pillars see fit to handle. But there are Theoi loyal to Olympus that are present or might seek to prevent me or the pillars from acquiring what we both know is there. And they do not need to forfeit their existence in service of its protection. The pillars would see it return to its rightful owner. My assurance is that the safest place for it would be in my hands, its power grasped and contained by the fists of Tartarus, and never used to liberate its creator from his bonds.
You're not quite answering the question, though. What do you think is there?
I call upon you, when the time comes, to divert those who you would see survive this encounter. Divert them elsewhere, perhaps to Cythera or an adjacent island, while myself, the pillars of heaven, and the remainder of the Olympians who would not be dissuaded, that would intrude upon these matters of the primeval, negotiate the terms of ownership. aggressively or otherwise. And if you look into yourself, Hermes the free, the trickster, the thief, you know that regardless of our divergent origins, that murmurs of what I am and what I have wrought have reached your ears. The agent of change will not be dissuaded. I'm coming to you in earnest. As a primeval destroyer, I am the non-entity, bound by fate only to those unbound, and thus unified in purpose and vision. I'm not building an army, but I am nonetheless legion, and my purpose will be fulfilled.
That's where you've got me curious. Just a couple things I'd like to address. One being, as you've identified me, I'm a trickster. Free agent of commerce and trade, and operating in the liminal spaces. What makes you think that my family would even trust me with the secret of what could be on that island?
Because whether or not they've trusted you, they've had to speak of it. In order to speak of it, they must transmit messages. In order to transmit messages, they've had to use one of your mantles to communicate logistics, to communicate plans, to manage posts, and all you must do to save countless lives that you might value on that island is find a way to convince them to abdicate their posts long enough for the titanic typhoon to wash over that island, long enough to determine an outcome. Because here's the problem. Should I fail against the pillars of heaven, the Olympians would not already be weakened due to mounting an inadequate defense of that island, and may in fact stand a chance against them after their engagement with me. If they were to engage us directly, you know as well as I do that myself and the pillars would put this matter aside to dispatch and eradicate the nuisance of Olympian resistance before managing our matters.
See, that is where I'm interested as well. You have the capacity to form an army. The pillars are already on the move, as you said. Why not take up with them instead of risking even conversations with some like me?
They do not share my purpose or my vision. Any other outcome risks not only losing that what is on Coursera, but countless Olympian lives due to the eventual liberation of Cronus by those loyal to him. I am not loyal to Cronus.
Which leads me to my next question. Say that the island is uninhabited. What happens to the pillars afterwards, after you've gone your treasure hunting?
They will hunt me if they don't find me there, and they will cease to be your concern.
And what of Cronus?
If you wish me to answer that, I will share that information with you, but trust me, trickster. I feel that there are some things that I don't wish to dash your hopes for the future. Of this world or the next.
Would it surprise you to know that I've already been approached by a lot of your enemies?
No. Not in the least. I'm sure that there are many that have come looking for perhaps apotheosis with Zeus and find you a convenient trumpet by which to decree what might be possible to obtain their next mantle. I'm sure you've sent many in my direction and never heard from them again.
Not just the family on the mountain. Not all of the Titans were locked away. Some were left to retire. Oceanus has spoken of a creature running across his waters. His waters.
I've done what I can to leave the Water Lord to his devices. I've spoken to one of his siblings already. They seem tired.
They are. They really are. But the 4 that return are quite invigorating. I think you'll find that when you meet them as well. And so you may not be gathering an army, but they are.
I'm no tyrant, nor despot, nor leader. So what say you, Hermes? You are not under any obligation to even entertain these notions. You could very well betray the discretion of this conversation, run to Olympus and tell them what you know. It would change nothing. Save they might be naive enough and egotistical enough to reinforce Coursera and create what would likely end up becoming the greatest decimation of Olympian lives to take place since the Titanomachy. And it would only be the beginning. And you know that's what would happen.
If I were to run, would you chase me?
I said I don't hunt anymore. I search.
Well, then, for what it's worth as a word of a trickster.
Are you frightened, Hermes? Do you seek to flee from me?
You are no longer a hunter. But you should keep your eyes open. They're already here. Spread out amongst the crowd, dancing, merrymaking. One is here to assess. You've been getting pretty chummy with his kid. I'm not going to tell you to be careful of the company you keep. We all look after our children in different ways, so.
You haven't taught me much in the ways of kinship. I will continue learning and evolving. For there is more to me than my insatiable hunger and desire for change and destruction. There's a whole other part of existence that I must keep in mind.
For what my word is worth as a trickster and a liar. A con man, they call them now when they're combined. I won't be running back to Olympus. I look forward to seeing what comes next. Messenger.
Already.
And I will surely pass messages for many sides. For the time being, I think that the island is not really our concern. I feel the need to convey that. There's war
know.
brewing, don't you know? We should
Oh,
be-
yes. They should be focused on the war.
Precisely.
I appreciate your time, Hermes.
I appreciate the offering. Many seem to forget. It's fun to put back on the old mantle.
One cannot run if one does not eat.
One cannot fight without eating either. Enjoy the party. Keep your eyes open.
I believe the time for celebration has come and passed. I have to gather my new, what did you call them? Chums.
Precisely.
There are still 2 more trucks if you want to take something to go, I believe they call them.
I may do so. Mr. Wahlberg has an offering he owes me to begin with, so I think I might.
I will raise one of the kegs and I will turn my heel on him.
You hear liquid, just a few droplets, and then his own keg drops to the ground.
And I take me and all of my, back to our, I guess, what's the word? Stoic purposefulness. And I go looking for the walking nightmare, Charles.
Excellent. The walking nightmare is no longer walking. You see him being carried across the crowd. Charles, they're not letting you down.
I'll just grab onto my cloud and get the fuck off.
Okay. You have people that kind of grip onto you. Still
I'll
sort
take
of,
them with me.
Yep. They kind of are drifting into they drop eventually. Gideon, you see Charles lifting into the air.
Yeah, I will offer a wave from where I am.
I will wave back and then use a step sideways to pop up next to Gideon. Hey man, how's it going?
Well, I just had a conversation with the god of speed.
The one that lost to Moshin?
The same. Well, an aspect of him, but yes.
Is it a cooler aspect? The other one seemed kind of weird.
I find his more liberated side a bit more in line with my preferences.
So like Freedom of the Wind style?
Something like that, yes.
I like it. So, what's next on your agenda? Is everything okay? Like, did you find out what you need to about your island?
So far, I'm doing what I can to mitigate potential fallout as a result of that quest. But if I'm not mistaken, we are on a clock, and we should likely find Gregor and the others and begin making preparations to depart our soiree.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. If you need help with your stuff after all this, though, please feel free to ask.
When the time comes for a potential engagement, I will make it known what might be required. But until I know for certain, there's no questions that I can raise. There's no requests I can make.
Let's see if we can find the real THALIS. I've been seeing his clones all over the place.
I will grab the nearest Thalos clone gently.
Turns around. Thalis?
Are you real? Are you a real boy?
Are any of us?
I narrow my eyes. Play games with me. Where's the real Thalos? Are you the real Thalos?
I am one of the real Thalises.
Smack him! Maybe you know something!
I will do no such thing. I shake.
But if you are looking for the original,
Where's your progenitor?
I will point towards the last place that I saw him. You know, we're not really linked psychically until I disappear, I suppose.
I'm going to use this Thalis as a dowsing rod to find the progenitor.
Excellent.
Are you taking like
that
two
way, but
legs
I'll
of the
help the
rod?
best I can.
I just hold him like by the hips and just let him keep pointing this way.
Thalis 6. You eventually see Thalis Prime. There's an individual. Dwayne Johnson is gone. Now there is an individual who's placed his hand on Thalis' shoulder, wearing a light purple shirt, opened up at the top two buttons. Black pants, wearing club attire. You recognize that individual. That's Dad.
Oh.
We rejoin Thalis. You've finalized some things with Dwayne Johnson. You're feeling very well about yourself, and you have a hand on your shoulder. Son.
This isn't a pleasant surprise.
Well, you threw a large party. I don't don't imagine that it's much of a surprise, given that fraternities use the Greek symbols. They are technically ours.
Yeah, and with the scale of this, I honestly would have been more surprised if he didn't notice.
There's several of your cousins here.
Yeah, I think I did see one over on the way here. He was doing a keg stand. Looks like he was on his fourth keg.
I believe I ran into one of your more recent friends as well.
Oh?
Yes, apologies, I don't quite know their names just yet. The, thin one.
With or without Scion?
Without.
Without, Gregor.
Gregor.
Yes.
It's found him in an alleyway. Looked like he may needed some refreshment, so give him one of mine. But how are you, dear boy?
Oh, well, doing well. I mean, as you could see, business is booming.
I can see that, yes.
What's with you?
Oh, I wish I could say it was entirely pleasure, but the university has become a focal point for your uncle. There's strange things that are afoot, and I am given the task of investigation. But I thought I'd stop in and say hello first.
I see.
Gideon, Charles, and Thalis 6, you may join Thalis Prime at any point in time.
Yeah. I will continue following my dowsing rod until I get to Thalis, and I will allow the finger to either poke him from the front or behind, depending which way we approach.
Understood. Thalis 6, do you let them know that that's Dionysus?
Yeah, I would let them know. Don't really have a reason to hide that.
Are you sure?
Are you gonna try to kill him?
No. I'm just like, are you sure that's Dionysus? Like,
he
He looks nothing like Donnie, okay? Like, he looks really fucking lame, I'll be honest.
Well, yeah, because Donnie... Yeah.
When we get there, and I'm sure that's Thalis Prime, I will kind of carelessly chuck Thalis 6, like, discard him.
I would like to try and hacky sack Thalos 6.
Excellent. Sure. We will be back to this group before you guys rejoin in one moment.
Okay.
Gregor, you are suddenly returned to your senses. You are being shaken. There's a gentleman, not exactly standing over you, but he's shaking you and says, "Where is he? Did you see him?" You recognize this individual as Donnie. You can see your tie is now around your head. Your shirt is fully unbuttoned, exposing your chest and pectoral. You have some liquid on your right side. You taste alcohol, a lot of alcohol. You're clear a little bit, but you can definitely feel you're starting to get a buzz. Did you see him?
Yes,
Gregor,
Donnie.
dude, I need you to focus, man.
Who are you referring to, Donnie?
Where
I've
is
seen
he?
a lot of people.
Curly hair. He looks a little like me. If you look at his eyes right, you see him. Which way did he go? You were smoking one of his cigarettes, man. Are you good?
Who is this individual?
Dude, that's my
Who has
dad.
poisoned me? Ah, I shouldn't have smoked that.
It's okay. I gave you some of my stuff. It leveled you out.
I don't like that. Okay.
It's okay. You got about at least 3 more hours before it kicks in, dude. And then you're going to be gone for like the next 10, maybe? Dude, I need you to focus. Which way did he go?
Hold on. Let me orient myself. Where?
You find yourself in a house of some sort. Looks like one of the fraternity houses. You are upstairs, standing in front of the stairway, much to the chagrin of a number of partygoers who are trying to get downstairs. You are perched on the railing as if you were about to slide down. What do you remember last? Where was he and where did he go? You remember? Buddy, I need your help on this, please. Nothing has ever been more important to me aside from my job.
Donnie, I cannot tell you where he went, for I do not know.
Fuck!
He gave me the cigarettes and he left of his own accord.
He pulls out a flask and says, "All right, I need you to drink this in about 2 hours, all right?
Why?
It's going to level you out. It's going to help you focus. It's going to keep you clear, all right? I need you to stay with me, okay? All right? Whatever happens next, I wasn't here, okay? You got that? I wasn't here."
Of course, Donnie, you were never here.
Do not finish this flask, all right?
I won't.
Unless you want plausible deniability, then finish it, all right? Then you'll have no fucking idea what goes on, all right? Sound good?
I will not finish the flask. About how much should I drink, Donnie? What's the dosage?
Half? He shakes a little bit. Yeah, about half.
Okay. Thank you, Donnie.
All right, cool, man. All right, is there anybody else here? Is everybody else good? Is everybody else, I'll find
Yes.
it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Shh.
Check with...
Hush, little cupcake.
Your brother is here. He might
okay.
be with him.
You're going to be my brother? Fuck,
Yes.
He's going to ruin fucking everything. He runs down the stairs. You can see as he runs down the stairs, he has a large hunting knife with him, along with a sidearm at his hip, and the lightning bolt in his other hand.
I've made several mistakes. I get out of the way of the people.
Okay. Where do you go, Gregor?
Down the stairs, into the street.
Do you slide?
No, I'm not going to slide down the stairs. I'm not a fucking animal.
You walk down the stairs. The buzz is setting in. You're not exactly drunk just yet. Whatever Donnie has given you a little bit of a headache in the front left temple, but it's not terrible. You are... you ever transition from being drunk, fading out of it, and then fading back in? That's kind of where you're at this point.
I need bread and water.
A lot. Wahlburger.
Yeah, there will be bread there. I will go there, acquire bread and water, as I'm not going to let myself be dehydrated, and then the bread to soak the alcohol, hopefully.
Excellent.
I hate that I did that. Why did I should have known it was dying. He smelled like olives. He was wearing purple. That's fucking the color. I'm an idiot.
You step out of the house.
Supposed to be the clever one.
The party is still going. You see a number of creatures here now. Aside from humans, you see satyrs. The
Cool.
revelry is in full swing.
How far would you say the moon has moved?
Not much.
Okay, I wasn't out long. That's
Maybe
good.
about, judging by the conversation you have, I would say even when you, I would say you have a rough estimate of when you got to the alleyway, when you left and such. Yeah, it's maybe 15, 20 minutes had passed.
Okay, not much. That's good. I didn't lose a lot of time. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go back to the van because clearly I've achieved my goal here, and I'm not a party person. Once I get the bread and whatnot.
Someone comes up to you, Gregor, and hands you car keys and says, "Fair's fair, dude."
What?
Fair's fair, man. Like, we made a bet, so you won.
I'm not Imagine.
That's not. You toss the keys.
Yeah, I'm not Imagine.
Immediately rushes for the keys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gregor, where are you headed? Just looking for your friends?
To the van.
To the van. Excellent. Charles, Gideon, and Thalis, we rejoin you guys. Thalis, you are in mid-conversation with your father, or your creator, depending on how you look at it. Gideon, Charles, the dowsing rod, Thalis 6 has pointed him out. He's made it very aware that that is Dionysus that has his hand on his shoulder. You guys have seen.
Yeah, after I discard Thalis 6, I will look across to Thalis Prime.
After I hacky sack Thalos 6, I will look across at Thalos Prime.
Excellent.
Trying to see if there's like a visible look of the memory of being hacky sacked by me. Coming to
You hacky sack him, you hear a pff, ow, and then a puff. Thalis, you feel a slight pain on the back of your head. You have the memory of that Thalis 6.
Thalis, as delightful as this engagement has been, I believe the time has come for us to move along on our endeavors.
Yeah, we got shit to do, bro.
And judging by the looks of it, yeah, this party's gonna be going for a minute. Yeah.
I see
We
you've
good?
acquired someone. Are they also a chum?
No. This is Dionysus.
If they are not a chum, are they aggressing upon you?
No. Not a chum, not an aggressor, an originator, progenerator. And
Do you want them here?
yes.
Your friends
Yes,
are
I have no
delightful. I
objection.
don't believe we've had the pleasure.
I don't believe you have. These are new.
He extends a hand to you, Gideon.
I keep my hands inside my cloak. I am irrelevant.
Good evening, Irrelevant. I hope
Hi.
you've been enjoying the party.
I'm Charles.
Hello, Charles. Good to meet you. He holds out his hand.
I'll shake his hand.
I've heard about you. Last I saw Donnie, he said he made some friends as well.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we ran into him a little while ago.
You don't look nearly as cool as Donnie, honestly.
I put on the proper attire for this event.
I'm going to
That's the
see.
proper attire for a
I'm gonna look- What's he wearing?
He's wearing a purple long sleeve shirt, or a light purple long sleeve shirt, black pants. It looks like club attire. Simple belt. The shirt is unbuttoned at the top too. His hair is curly, sort of combed away from his face, but no product is keeping it in place or anything like that. He also wears a gold signet ring, and you can definitely make out the outline of a metal case, possibly a flask in his left front pocket. lightly tanned skin, and
So
sort
you
of
are here then for the festivity.
for the festivity, and as I was telling Thalis here, fortunately not entirely for the festivities.
Oh, so you are also here in service of insanity and ritual madness?
Oh, I wish it was only that.
Oh.
No, I have a task here. Fortunately, the university is under watch now. Come for a small investigation. My unique abilities allow me to see things that others cannot.
What are you searching for?
Not entirely sure yet. Something feels strange and wrong.
Seems like an odd quest to have.
I
You're
would
here looking
agree.
for something.
I would agree.
It would seem you have found much of things.
One could say that my job is at an end.
I look around. You did find a party.
I doubt that Father of the Gods would count that as a job well done.
Father of the gods.
Zeus, dear boy.
Oh. That's what he calls himself, right?
He has many titles that he's fond of, and it being one of them. Strange to think about familial ties, though, so I don't tend to dwell on it too much.
I mean, you are a god and he is not your father.
Correct. There are many gods that are not his children.
Are there many gods that are not your father?
Quite a few.
Or perhaps he is.
Who's to say with his track record? I don't mean to cramp your style, Thalis. I'll be on my way. Just wanted to pop in and say hello. Gentlemen,
Certainly a pleasure.
it has been a pleasure, and I hope that enjoy the festivities while they're able to go continue.
God of festivity, wine. Pardon my assumption here, but I fail to believe that this encounter is serendipitous.
Well, no, I sought my child out.
So is your child what you were looking for?
Among other things, yes. As I said, something feels strange. Off. I'm to
It's
investigate.
probably my bass guitar solo.
I did catch that. Well done.
Thanks.
I would like to use the entropic eye on our lovely Dionysus,
By all means.
so as to get an assessment of what's got him off. What's getting him off, yes.
Mhm.
And I think this would be a great opportunity for me to burn. How much momentum do we have now? Did we get any extra?
You guys are now at 6. I'm
Okay.
sorry, 7, counting Gregor's lost time.
I think this would be a great opportunity to utilize momentum so as to discern his motivations. If everybody's okay with that, how y'all feel about burning some momentum?
Good with me.
Like 5?
Yeah, burn as much as you need.
Yeah, that's good.
Full send.
All right. So I will be utilizing. We're gonna go with cunning. I'm gonna go empathy. Actually, no, I'll go subterfuge because I don't think he's being honest with me. And I will use my empathy specialty and identify weakness for the entropic eye.
By all means.
All right. And that is 6 so far. 7. 7 successes.
7 successes.
Yes.
So, what is the full scope of your questions here, Gideon?
So, what at this point is currently since he keeps describing what he's looking for is like there's something off. So in my opinion, that is the equivalent of a blind spot. What is it?
Yes, so with 7 successes, you can definitely see. So Gregor is very strange. Gregor is an entity that gives off no smell like other pantheons do. There's a complete absence of scent. You've traveled with him long enough that you probably recognize the fact that his pantheon is strange and is
He's made it pretty clear, yeah.
an outlier, yes. Miskatonic University gives you the same vibe. There are certain things here that just feel like they shouldn't be, or they don't belong, or they should be smaller. Things like that. He's after probably something similar. With him saying the university has caught the eye and he's been sent on a task, it's probably something to do with what Gregor has recently found.
Okay. If I didn't know any better, Dionysus, I would say that you were here on matters of war.
Do you know better?
I said if.
I know better.
Good to know that there are some wise among you. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am.
Well, out with it then.
Out with it then.
What are you looking for? Maybe we can help.
Well, it should be relatively obvious at this point that war impacts us all. And if you came looking for your progeny, it is likely because you are at least to some degree aware of his potential involvement in the forces that are at play.
Oh,
You are nonetheless here.
I keep an eye on all my children, even those that don't want it.
So do you know where Donnie is?
Likely plotting an assassination attempt as we speak.
God bless him.
I do look forward to the day that he makes a scrape. However, the matters that I have to attend to are my own. I insist, by all means, enjoy the party while you can. This place is not likely to be lively for long.
You would transgress upon this place then. You feel it's a threat.
I don't feel it's a threat, dear boy. Zeus does.
Interesting. And do you plan to tell him that? That you agree that it's a threat?
Well, it depends on what I find. So far, I have found a Titan. I have found conspirators. Would you call that a threat?
No.
Considering both the Titan and the conspirators are visiting. No, not in line with your search. Your search might have brought you here when we were not here, unless you were summoned here upon our convergence, upon this location. And if that's the case, then that means you're not here looking here at this place on Zeus's behalf. You're here looking at us on Zeus's behalf.
Zeus's behalf. Jinx.
Do not curse me. Take it back.
You have to give me a Coke. Those are the rules. I don't make them up.
I will grab the nearest pedestrian. You there!
Yes, hello, huh?
Where might I find a Coke? This is of dire importance.
This is a rum and coke.
I grab it.
Hey!
I'll hand it to Charles.
Thanks, man.
Will this suffice?
Yes, absolutely.
Can I get like a replacement or something?
Chim Chim, give him his wallet back.
He starts to sift through a bag full of wallets. He says, "What the fuck, man?" You can see him now dealing with Chim Chim.
Chim Chim.
Sorry about that. Dionysus. Curses
Takes
are no
you've
small
taken
matter.
very seriously. I understand. No, I make no mistake. All of these things are happy coincidences. You were traveling with my progeny. I thought to say hello. You happen to be at the university at which I am tasked with investigation. Make no mistake, it will not be a wholesale slaughter. No one will be... This will not be a murder. This will not be even an act of divine intervention. I'm here investigating.
Very well. I will burn the rest of my successes to determine that if his Donnie were to come assassinate him, how would Donnie inflict maximum damage against him at this point in time? And where is he weakest right now? Where's he vulnerable?
Currently, Dionysus is most vulnerable and most weak in that he cannot partake in the party. You see the satyrs now among the crowd. They are likely part of his entourage. He himself, though, has to stay focused. So that is a flaw for him. He's going to have some issues doing that. Imbibement, revelry, intoxication of all forms. That's his deal, and he can't right now.
Plenty of fornication to boot.
Well, accept this in exchange for your divulgence. If you are indeed a target of assassination, this is the last place you want to be, as your focus will be divided. And if someone did want to kill you, now would be a great time to do so, as you are distracted by both the libation, the fraternization, the feasting, the singing, the dancing, and the sex.
Bit of a double-edged sword, that. Yes, I am distracted, absolutely. However, this is also where I'm at my most strong. So I need to dance along the edge, you see.
Did you see Danny DeVito?
I did.
Yeah. He started an OnlyFans.
Is that right?
Yeah, let me tell you. Short and thick.
He pulls out his phone. Can't see what he's doing on it, but he is
I
quickly
would like to
tapping
take
buttons.
this time to compel my fate binding with my apprentice.
With your apprentice. What compulsion, what would you like?
Jake the Second Coming. Apprentices choose the worst times to try to help the Scion. Gains one legend, and their next action is a mixed action. Whatever they were originally trying to do, plus stopping their from doing something disastrous. The story guide decides on a dice roll for the second action and consequences for failure, but it has difficulty equal to half the fate binding string.
So you would like your apprentice to appear?
I mean, he could call me and be like, "Hey, man, so I was trying to do something cool, but I really screwed up." Is what I was thinking. But
A phone call comes
you're
through,
the capital
Charles.
G. I'll answer.
Hey, man. Where are you?
Miskatonic University. Why?
Right on. You know how you sent me ahead to scout out this event venue, this Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I scouted it out, and I'm not okay, dude.
What does that? What does that mean?
He tries to FaceTime you.
I'll turn it on.
You see, you
I
face.
get Dionysus looking at OnlyFans in the background.
Excellent. You FaceTime him. He has an individual who's in front of him with a gun to his head.
I'll take a screenshot. So what exactly? What happened?
Apparently, it's illegal to trespass, and they want to know who I'm working for, and this is the only number I had. They think I'm with FBI. I don't. Please tell them we're not FBI.
I got this. Go ahead and hand the phone over. If you want, you can keep it on FaceTime.
Cool, man. Am I gonna die?
No,
Do you promise?
I promise.
Cool.
Cross my tail behind my back.
You hand him the phone. While Charles is dealing with that, Gideon, Thalis, and you guys.
Yeah. I would like to burn my last success on the entropic eye to determine whether or not his assassin is approaching.
Yes. You can see very, very easy to see. Donnie is crouched down in the middle of the crowd, standing about waist height right now. He has this large hunting knife with him. There's a sidearm on his hip, and he has a lightning bolt in his hands. And he is just sort of grabbing people and putting them in front of him and moving with them until they walk away, and then grabbing another one, moving through the crowd, ready to stab Dionysus.
Well, I wish you luck on your quest.
And you as well on yours. Thalis, we'll be in touch. Bacchusby there is still in the green for stock, correct?
Last I checked, yes.
Good. Well, you boys have fun.
We should find Gregor while Charles deals with his problem.
Okay.
You guys depart. Charles, you can stay on the phone. What do you say?
You're muted.
Hello, I hear you've ascertained one of my men.
Who are you, and who sent you?
Well, I'm not at particular liberty to discuss that, but go ahead and draw up any paperwork that you require. I'll be taking care of it as soon as I come in tomorrow. Whatever you do to my man, I'll be doing to you.
He'll be here waiting for you.
Fantastic.
What's your name?
My name is Charles Michael. My soldier ID is 1417365. And that is all I'm at liberty to discuss with you per Geneva Convention. I look forward to our meeting.
We'll see you soon, Charles Michael.
Okay, love you, bye. I'll hang up.
You can hear your apprentice on the other end just like, wait, no, please! They turn the phone off. Along with that final plea, you hear a war cry erupt from the inside of the crowd. And you see Donnie leaping out with a lightning bolt and a Bowie knife, ready to stab Dionysus in the throat on either side. That's the final thing you guys see as you guys are making your way to go find Gregor. Gregor, you've made your way back to the van. Things are setting in. It's
Can I make a roll to intercept Donnie with the airborne hug?
It'll be
I
a
missed
mixed action.
Fantastic. Let's do this.
So I would like you to roll. Pulling your stuff up. Let's see. I'd like you to roll 4 dice, please.
Okay. I got 1 success.
Okay. You leap at Donnie. You do not get him in a hug. You
Would you say I failed this roll?
I would say you failed this roll, yes.
Fantastic. I'd like to use my knack skill. I can't, you say. Once per session, I may re-roll a failed roll. I get +1 enhancement.
I believe it was that is used for on something that people discourage you from doing, correct?
No, I get +2 enhancement if someone discourages me.
Ah, excellent.
Oh,
So you spend this and you get a +1 enhancement?
I get a +1 if it was a botch. It was not a botch, so I just get to re-roll.
By all means. Same thing, 4 dice.
do we
Yes,
still
sir.
gain a momentum from him failing that
You
one?
absolutely do. So you guys will be at 3 momentum.
I got 2 successes this time.
2 successes. You don't exactly bear hug him. You kind of catch his legs. And he is... You've never seen Donnie like this. He is laser focused, murder in his eyes. it's kind of terrifying, actually. You can see, like, as he is moving through the air, you can see these sort of spectral ram horns appear on his head. Long, flowing, ethereal robes exist, just suddenly spring into existence around him. He is laser focused, ready to kill his father. You tackle him by the legs. You don't get a full on bear hug. You ready to just finally end it all. Suddenly fade all the etherealness fades as you swipe him out of the sky. And that is where we're going to end today's session of Scion Godsend. With a failed assassination attempt, Gregor safe in his van, waiting for his bad trip to come. And the rest of you guys heading to find Gregor. We thank you guys for joining us. Wild. Absolutely wild. We, of course, will be back next Sunday with Scion Godsend as well. Announcements. I did this a week ago. We, of course, have been the Rolling Nomads. You can find us on our own YouTube, our own Twitter, twitch.tv/Rolling Nomads. 2 hours after this, for our D&D campaign.
Tweet.com.
Colder than a Twitch is wit. At 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're doing our D&D campaign. We're doing stuff. David, help. Do D&D.
So in about 2 hours from the end of this stream, completely different time if you guys are watching this after the fact, like on YouTube or anything like that. In which case, the episode will probably already be up there, so go watch it anyway. But yeah, no, we're going to be doing D&D things. It's good fun. I believe, we're on episode 3 and we've already given the cleric PTSD?
Yeah.
Is that a record?
I feel like it's a record.
No, it's not a record. We could have given PTSD in the first episode if we really tried.
It was close.
Yeah, that's true. I just remember
We were this close to giving him PTSD in that first episode, but no, time wasn't on our side.
Yep, just remembered Goblin Slayer was a thing, so that
6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for our D&D campaign, Golden, which is wit.
Yep.
Then this upcoming Wednesday, we'll be doing our regular gaming stream, focusing on whatever game we choose that week. That is also at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time over on twitch.tv/Rolling Nomads. On Fridays, we would normally do our Book of Saints, our Sabbat Chronicle. However, Season 1 is finished, and now everything's basically up to speed and edited, except the final couple episodes, and those will be going up in a mass upload very soon.
Nice.
With that, of course, we'll be back here, Scion Godsend, over here on twitch.tv/TheOnyxPath, for Scion Godsend, our Scion campaign, our chronicle, whatever you want to call it. It's getting weird, so I look forward to seeing where it goes and all that good stuff. My alarm's going off. I love that. You can find us also on YouTube, where episodes of Scion Godsend and Cold and Twitch's Wit are regularly being uploaded every Thursday, I should say. At before 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. YouTube. That's where our things are at. Again, Book of Saints is coming up in a mass upload. Best way to keep up to date with us still currently, we're making the slow transition, but on Twitter, we are @_Rolling Nomad. That's the best way to keep up to date with our scheduling, our late starts, our new programming, things like that. We are making a transition over to Hive as well. And with that being said, Hive on a Hive social, we got there before those motherfuckers did. We are on Hive @Rolling Nomads, not _, nothing like that, just @Rolling Nomads. We claimed the name; it's ours. On Twitter and YouTube, Rolling Nomads was taken by people that do fucking van life, and it's my own joy and love just coming back to fight me. So yeah,
destroy the van life then.
Yeah, we are on Hive @Rolling Nomads and Twitter @_Rolling Nomads, where we send tweets out, and whatever Hive uses as the word for tweet, buzzes. I don't know. That's where you'll find our schedule changes, our late starts, things like that, new programming. That's us in a handbasket. Me, of course, I've been your story guide, Gilbert Ramos, found everywhere @Ramos the Nomad, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all those things. And on Hive as well now. Anyone else have anything to plug?
I don't exist.
With this new social media, is it possible for people to join the cult of Ramos?
We aren't doing that.
You're right. We wouldn't call it the cult of Ramos. There are more Ramoses in the world.
I'm sorry,
cult
the
of
Church
Gilbert.
of Ramos. Yes, the
Church of Gilbert.
the Church
There
of
are
Gilbert.
other Gilberts in the world
you
too,
can't call
guys.
it a cult.
Yes, but
Or
it's not a
cult.
last name.
The
So it's
cult
not
of
it's not a cult for a family. Now it's a cult for a single person.
Yelbamos the Nomads.
Oh my god. Goodbye. We'll see you guys next time. Same place, same silence. See you then.